Hello, my name is Kevin Hirsch, and in this podcast, we'll be talking about flax research. The Diverse Field Crops Cluster is an agri-science cluster whose purpose is to support the research and development of 5 high-potential special crops. Those 5 crops are camelina, carinata, sunflower, mustard, and flax. Here to talk about the Diverse Field Crop Cluster research on flax variety development is Dr. Bunyamin, the flax breeder with the University of Saskatchewan's Crop Development Center. Bunyamin, how many colleagues do you now have in flax breeding? It seems like the flax breeding programs have been whittled down. There used to be many more players. Are there very many other people doing the kind of work you're doing?
Thanks, Kevin. That's very good question. So initially, Canada had like 3 breeding programs with Agriculture Canada, with the private industry, but now they're winding down. So probably for the country, I'm the only one now. I'm the single fighter now. But the crop has a potential. We need to continue working on this crop, make sure that we deliver the best varieties for the farmers here.
So what are the research priorities? Of course, as a farmer, we're always looking for better yield, but we don't want to lose all of the other quality and agronomic aspects.
Yes, of course. Yield is important because you get paid by the bushel per acre that you get. So we need to have that going up while maintaining all the other characteristics. The agronomic, the disease resistant package has to be there, and the quality has to be like meeting the consumer requirements. So that has to be there. So at the same time, how are we going to increase that yield? Because if you look at, Kevin, in the last 20, 30 years, the gain in yield in flax is kind of almost like flat. You don't see much excitement. So just recently that the former breeder developed one of the newer varieties like CDC Roland that has a yield improvement. So we need to go beyond that in the program.
So that variety named after Gordon Rowland.
Yes, yeah,
previous breeder. But you're right. It's been sort of incremental improvement in flax yields. It hasn't been a big jump, but Rowland's probably the best of the group out there right now, eh?
Yes. So now we have to go like beyond Rowland, all the newer varieties that we are developing here. So otherwise, probably the other oilseed will take over the whole acreage. The yellow one, you know what I'm talking about.
How does it look for going further with the yield? With the lines that you see in development and the work that you're doing, is there potential to go a fair bit higher with yield?
Yes. So for example, just beginning of the year 2025, we had one new brown seed variety that was recommended, approved by the Prairie Grain Development, PGDC, the PRCO, specifically the subcommittee. They approved and is being kind of in the process for registration. It is very good high yielding, especially for the more traditional flax growing areas, the black and gray soil zone, the short season. So it is range from 8 to 10%, 8 to 12% of the check, which is CDC glass at the moment. So that's really good option. Before that, we also had, we released CDC ASME, the brown seeded as well. It's good. From the data that we have so far, it's really good for the drier areas. So that's an option there. So, but we continue working on this. So thanks to the cluster support for my program for SICAN and Manitoba Crop Alliance, and also of course the SAS oilseed. So I'm really thankful, and the government, of course.
So the quality aspects that have to be maintained while looking to increase yield.
Yeah.
Just run through some of those, because I don't think, like I've sat in some of the PRCO meetings, registration meetings, and it's surprising how many quality characteristics have to be maintained. Just run through a few of what's required.
Yeah. So the requirement, or the minimum at least we need to go, is the oil content, total oil content, and also in flax especially, also we need to have certain amount of alpha-linolenic acid. Okay, this is also known as omega-3. And if you look at any plant species, flax the only species that has the highest amount of omega-3 compared to any other crop. So right now, the average we have is about 57, 58. So we are targeting close to 60% ALE content. The oil content now is about 47, 48%. And depending on the year, you may go down because of dry year. But we're targeting 50% oil content and 60% alpha-linolenic acid content. And protein range about 23, 24% because they are inverse correlation. You increase the oil, the protein will go down. So that's the nature of the biology. But we want to have that in the program.
Now, I don't think a lot of people realize that you work on both brown and yellow varieties.
Yes.
Now, the yellow varieties, it's a much smaller market, it seems to me.
Yes.
But it's still something you guys are working on.
Yes, yellow one, traditionally the yellow has higher amount of alpha-linolenic acid. And the problem in the past with yellow seeded one, it has low vigor in the field. So people need to do like a extra amount of the seeding rate but now I think all the new varieties that we have, the yellow one that are available, you can treat it the same as the brown seeded. I think this is more conventionally what we see yellow is coming more into the food market for human consumption because it's more appealing. When you see yellow, instead of you see brown seeded on your loaf of bread, now you see yellow golden color. It's kind of really more appealing, and then it is has a higher alpha-linolenic acid or higher omega-3, so it's healthier. So that's what we see in the future. But both are we produce we develop both varieties, both types of flax.
Something that producers have always fight with is residue issues. And I know there was lots of work in the past about trying to use the flax fiber. Is there anything in the breeding effort to try to reduce the fiber in the straw so that the residue issues after harvest aren't so problematic? Like baling it to get it off the field or burning it to get it off the field. Gosh, those are poor options.
Yeah, this is the classic issue, Kevin. So, yeah, people really kind of disappointed with the flag because of the problem with the straw. So right now what we are doing conventionally is to reduce the plant height, so kind of minimize the number of straw, the amount of straw that are produced by the crop, and easy to cut. So that's more kind of within the pipelines that we have. But in the future as well, what we are looking right now in the breeding programs through this project is to look at the overall where is the flax germplasm-based sources that are available. So I truly believe that flax was domesticated not for seeds. It was domesticated for fiber, for straw. That's what you see here. So all the flax. So if you look at the evidence from the mummy that was identified in Egypt, 8 to 9,000 years. It was covered by linen, by flax straw. So it's not much story about the seeds. And then we use the remnant selection from fiber type of flax as a seed crop because it's healthy product. So you see that all the straw that we have here is the derivative from that selection. So now I'm going back to the original source where flax was domesticated, and I make the cross with that original. It's a wild species named as Linum bayani, or known also as pale flax. So when I make the cross, you see the structure of the plant looks so different than what you see right now in the conventional flax. There are more branching, more tillerings, more bolls. So that's where the yield will come. And at the same time, happen to be this new progeny also kind of a bit weaker on the straw, so easy to cut. Plants still be able to stand. It's not like become like a lot laying on the ground, but a little bit easier. So that's kind of the future, the new generation of flax that I'm kind of my vision to have for Saskatchewan, for Canada in the future.
Oh, that's exciting. Talk a little bit about winter nursery use. Do you
Yeah.
use winter nursery to try to increase how many generations you can get and how fast you can move?
Yes, so we do use winter nursery in New Zealand. So this is kind of one way to cut the program in flax breeding, in any plant breeding, because plant breeding is long term. To release a new variety of flax or any other crop, annual crop, field crop, takes about 10 to 12 years, because we only grow here in the field one generation per year. We don't have the luxury like people in tropical that can grow 5 generations in 2 years, but we only have one. So how we cut that cycles is by having the winter nursery. So we have, once we harvest here in the end of October, early November, we send the seeds to winter nursery in New Zealand, and they're being grown. So you look at the geographically, New Zealand almost having like the same day length to what we have here, so it's adapted well. And the seed will get back here in mid-April, so just in time for seeding in Saskatchewan. So by doing that, we allow us to do 2 generations. Okay, so one in Saskatchewan, and we skip half. But winter nursery is, because it's done by contracted, is expensive. So we cannot do on everything, only selected high value materials that we are sending to the winter nursery.
Very interesting. Now, I have a note here about a disease screening methodology for pasmo in flax. Pasmo is a bad disease in flax through integrated, accelerated plant growth technology, or I've also seen the note speed breeding. So
Yeah.
I need an explanation. What is that all about?
Okay. So when I took over the Flax program in 2021, I was a bit surprised that pasmo been around for a long time, been known in affecting flax, but we don't have any technology or any procedure to do it indoor. So we only relied on field screening, so which is depending on the environment. So you don't see, sometimes you see the good infection, sometimes you don't. So I said to the pathologist, so thanks to Dr. Andy Kutcher and his team, so we work with him, and then we discuss, okay, how we can develop a reliable system that can be done all year long. So that's the starting point. Now we have the techniques. And then you realize also pasmo disease caused by fungus Septoria linicola. The symptom only visible toward the maturity. Okay, you don't see early on in the plant growth, but it's happened. So because of that, when you grow even indoor, you have to wait for the plants to kind of enter the flowering, and then you do the infection, and then you can see whether the disease develop, and then you do the scoring from there. So how we shortcut this period, because indoor we use a growth chamber, which is expensive to pay. So that's when we try to combine with what we call speed breeding. Speed breeding is kind of, you grow the plants under long days, extreme long days, like 22 hours day length with high temperature. So 22 hours light, 2 hours dark. So basically it pushes the plant to complete its cycles quickly. So we push the plant under this condition so that the plants enter the flowering period early, quicker, and then we inoculate it. So we save the time. So this is in the process, but the results so far, I have 2 students working on this. It's reproducible, so we have the symptoms. We can kind of feel confident to see, and also we correlate that with the infection in the field, and the good correlation we see. So this is the technique that we'll continue to explore. So this allows us to do more screening for the materials that we have instead of just waiting for next summer and continue from there.
And of course, if you can get resistance within the varieties, is far better than trying to control it with fungicide in the field.
Yes, of course. So that will be healthier product, good for the environment, and also saving a little bit of money for the farmers. Any amount that we can do to help farmers save, I think it's a good thing.
Now, if we look back in history, flax commanded a much larger acreage than it has in recent years, although the last year or two, and maybe the upcoming year, we might see an increase in flax acreage, just the way the economics is looking. What do you see as the long-term future? Can flax with the new varieties be a competitive crop? Will we see the acreage increase in the years to come?
So that can be. Flax still has a good option, good opportunity, and good future. So, for example, when you look at on the basic agriculture, we need rotations. So, flax is a good fit for that rotation. So, okay, we have an option. We always recommend to farmers to have at least 3 or 4 year rotation. 4 year is the best. In some cases, we even, for some crop, we recommend to have 8 year rotation. For example, when you are hit by root rot or aphanomycin pulses, then probably 8 year you need to do. But so flax fits really well with this cereal-based rotation to cut between the two cereals and a legume. So that's one thing, and then also human consumption as a healthy product. So flax still has a good, one of the best crop for source of omega-3. So this is the one that growing market, and also for animal feed, for fish feed, and they're looking for the omega-3 as well. So this is an opportunity that we have, and we also have to make flax very competitive with other commodity. So that's what we coming to into the high yielding and then good agronomic package and easy to manage crop. Okay, so that I hear maybe less swearing from the farmers when they combine because everything tangle up has to stop, and less burning. So that's what it's all sound familiar to me. So I don't blame them if I'm a farmer and then kind of hassle with kind of facing the hassle of combining flag, I will do the same thing. But this is a biology. We need to change the crop and working continue with this. And as I said, breeding is long term. So again, thank you for the support. So I'll continue working on this.
It's great to have you working on it. And in conclusion, there's probably lots of agencies and people around you that work to make this possible in the flax breeding program. So maybe I'll give you an opportunity just to mention a few of the folks that help you do what you do.
Yes, all we do here is a teamwork. Okay, so teamwork. We have people doing the genomics, doing the statistic. We have cooperator that when we do the final test of the new varieties, we have 15, 16 locations across Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. So all the teamwork, and we have a green innovation lab doing the quality analysis. So all teamwork, and also farmers who want to grow, and more importantly, also the funding source. Okay, people seeking, for example, marketing the varieties and make sure that the variety is pure, available to farmers. So the whole thing is like the whole spectrum. Okay, so we are on one end, and then there's a lot more on the other end, marketing, and then looking at the whatever, like a market surveillance, what the market really wants in the future. So this is what we are doing here.
Bunyamin Taran, thank you very much. Flax Breeder, Crop Development Center, University of Saskatchewan. Thanks very much for chatting.
Thank you for having me.
All the best.